Have you ever wondered if you can unequivocally determine whether the person in front of you is good or bad? Perhaps you have encountered situations where someone's actions or words have raised doubts. Unraveling the true character of a person is not an easy task, especially because the concepts of good and evil are subjective and strongly influenced by cultural, moral, and individual views. In this piece, we will look at subtle signs that will help you better understand who you are dealing with. We'll discuss 9 types of behavior that can reveal evil intentions. Pay particular attention to the last point. It is the most insidious and has the potential to harm multiple people by affecting their inner integrity. Stoic philosophy offers useful guidelines to help distinguish good from evil. According to the Stoics, good always acts in harmony with reason, whereas evil opposes it. Reason suggests that a virtuous life is based on justice, wisdom, and courage. Good can be compared to sunlight. It warms, attracts, unites people who seek warmth and light. Evil, on the contrary, even if it tries to hide under the mask of kindness or false participation, cannot hold this image for long. Sooner or later, its true nature becomes apparent. Let us look at 9 key traits that are often characteristic of people with bad intentions. If you learn to notice them, you can protect yourself and others. 1. Lack of regret. People with bad intentions never admit mistakes or regret their actions. Regret requires empathy and the ability to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Lack of these qualities often indicates coldness and selfishness. 2. Manipulation. Evil people often hide their true goals by using others to achieve their own interests. They can skillfully manage emotions and create the illusion of benevolence. 3. Deceitfulness. Deception and perversion of the truth. One of the most striking manifestations of the evil character. Evil people often distort facts to confuse or cause harm. 4. Disregard for moral standards. These people act as if general rules do not exist for them. They may justify their actions by ignoring the consequences to others. 5. Creating conflicts. Evil often manifests itself in the desire to destroy peace and harmony. Such people initiate disputes and disagree. 6. Self-centeredness. Only their own interests are important to them. They rarely think about how their actions affect those around them. 7. Envy and ill will. They cannot rejoice in the successes of others and tend to belittle the accomplishments of those around them in order to feel better about themselves. 8. Continuous desire for control. The desire to subordinate others to their interests is their primary motive. They do not tolerate independence or dissent. 9. Destruction of trust. The last but most destructive trait is the ability to use people as trust against them. This can cause deep trauma and undermine faith in others. A person with bad intentions often refuses to back away from their position, even when the evidence that they are wrong is clear. Instead of building bridges of understanding and finding ways to reconcile, he builds walls of excuses and rationalizes his actions. The unwillingness to admit mistakes. apologize and learn from them is not just a sign of inflexibility. It is an indication of deep internal problems that can be dangerous. Such stubbornness manifests itself in a variety of ways. It can be a refusal to apologize, a distortion of facts to defend one's point of view, or even manipulation to make others feel guilty. In contrast, a kind person is characterized by modesty and flexibility, recognizing that each of us is subject to mistakes. He realizes that admitting a mistake and apologizing is not weakness, but an indicator of maturity and strength of character. If a person persistently refuses to admit his mistakes, even when he is obviously wrong, this is a red flag. Such behavior indicates that his apparent kindness may be just a mask hiding his true nature. Another indicator of bad character is the tendency to find satisfaction in the pain and suffering of others. Such people, instead of supporting or comforting someone who is going through a difficult time, may be indifferent and sometimes even show hidden gratification or mockery. This behavior is alarming because it indicates serious emotional detachment. The inability to feel compassion or, worse, to rejoice in another's pain is a clear sign of a manipulative and malicious nature. Such people may cover their cruelty with humor, make sarcastic comments, or avoid offering help when it is really needed. Moreover, they often capitalize on the difficult situations of others or willfully ignore others' needs, showing that they are only interested in their own gain. One of the traits of bad character is the inability to stick to one's beliefs. Such people easily change their opinions and promises, adjusting to circumstances that maximize their benefits. At first glance, their words may seem sincere, but over time they lose meaning as they constantly adapt to changing circumstances. This type of personality can support you today, but tomorrow take the opposite position if it considers it more favorable. This instability demonstrates self-centeredness and a propensity for manipulation. Their behavior ruins trust and makes them an unreliable support. At first glance, they may appear understanding and sympathetic, but their support is fleeting and depends solely on their interests. This kind of inconsistency destroys relationships and breeds mistrust, leaving others in a state of constant uncertainty. The next negative trait is the habit of complaining about everything around them. Such people focus only on the shortcomings, ignoring the positive aspects of life. They always see the negative, be it small domestic problems, personal relationships, or global events. Instead of looking for solutions or approaching the situation in a balanced way, they get bogged down in their pessimism. This attitude indicates a deep dissatisfaction with life. Constant complaining not only creates a toxic atmosphere for those around them, but also reflects a lack of appreciation for the good things in life. This trait often conceals self-centeredness and an inability to experience true satisfaction. In addition, such people often use their complaints as a way to gain attention or elicit sympathy. However, their contribution to the common good is rarely constructive, as they focus only on their own interests and experiences. Another trait that can indicate bad character is the desire for control. This behavior manifests itself in a variety of ways. Sometimes these people act as leaders or advisors, offering their help or guidance. However, this mask often hides a desire to manipulate others to achieve their goals. People with this trait may resort to authoritarian methods, imposing their decisions and ignoring the opinions, feelings, and needs of others. They tend to structure relationships and situations so that everything happens according to their script. Such behavior not only disturbs the balance in communication, but also shows that they consider their opinion and vision more important than anything else. This shows a lack of respect for others and a desire to subordinate others to their interests. These traits help to recognize hidden character flaws, inconsistency, eternal dissatisfaction, and the desire for control create an unfavorable atmosphere, destroying trust and harmony in relationships. Be alert to such behaviors to protect yourself and build interactions based on honesty and respect. People with this behavior are often not flexible in their demands and insist that others follow their instructions without question. They also use manipulative techniques such as guilt, persuasion, or even emotional blackmail to influence the decisions of others. This manipulation can be so skillful that victims may not even realize they are being controlled. This control can manifest itself in violating personal boundaries and interfering in matters that do not concern these people. They may present themselves as caring or good people, but in reality their goal is to maintain influence over others by subordinating them to their own interests and views. The next characteristic trait is indifference. People who exhibit this type of behavior may appear to be kind and caring, but in reality they show a distinct lack of empathy and interest in others. This is evident in the way they carry on conversations in which they always put themselves, their problems and worries at the center. When someone else shares something personal, they may show complete indifference by becoming distracted or quickly changing the subject to things that are more interesting to them. This disregard for the needs and emotions of others is not only a display of impoliteness, but also clearly demonstrates a lack of empathy and willingness to be supportive. The indifference of such people is especially noticeable in situations where sympathy or comfort is expected. Instead, they may respond with coldness or even disdain. Lying is another tactic such individuals use to manipulate. They may deceive to create a false impression of themselves or to gain attention and sympathy. Lies can be so carefully disguised that at first it is difficult to distinguish them from the truth. Such behavior destroys trust, creating an atmosphere of misunderstanding and mistrust. A person who often resorts to lying shows that he or she is willing to sacrifice honesty for his or her own interests. It also indicates deep self-centeredness and lack of morals. People who exhibit emotional coldness tend to avoid expressing their feelings and show no interest in the experiences of others. This is often accompanied by a self-centered focus on their own needs and disregard for the emotions of others. In situations where compassion or support is usually expected, they may show complete indifference or even resentment. Emotional coldness can be either an unconscious or conscious tactic to maintain control in relationships. Such people often remain emotionally detached, avoiding deep or sincere connections with others. Some people tend to criticize others behind their backs, which is often disguised as objective opinion or honest observation. In reality, this is a manipulative tactic that helps elevate their own status at the expense of demeaning others. This behavior demonstrates a lack of loyalty and honesty, because if a person is willing to criticize others behind their backs, they are likely to do the same to you. It can also indicate insecurity, as such people prefer to stand out by humiliating others. All of these behaviors, from manipulation and lying to indifference and emotional coldness, can hide behind an outer facade of kindness and caring. It is important to realize that such traits usually carry with them signs of self-centeredness, manipulation, and a lack of true empathy. Interactions with such people can be toxic, destroying trust and creating a negative atmosphere. The philosophy of Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to be cautious in evaluating the behavior of others. We should be aware of these traits and make decisions that promote our personal growth and harmonious relationships.